Welcome, foolish mortals, to another Halloween special on Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff beyond the grave. Mwahaha! Yeah, Halloween, a time to go trick-or-treating, a time to be all spooky in the neighborhood, and definitely the right time to go explore haunted mansions, especially if it's the Disney version. Disney's The Haunted Mansion, one of the most popular rides in the park thanks to its creepy atmosphere and its memorable characters. In fact, they recently added a new addition to the Disneyland version, where they were able to resurrect the infamous Hatbox Ghost. So yeah, he's back on the ride now, so that means you won't be seeing him on Forgotten Media. As for my personal experience, I've only been on the Disney World version, which was nice, but I've heard the Disneyland version is better. Especially when they do that whole Haunted Mansion holiday where they have Jack Skellington and the rest of the cast from Nightmare Before Christmas take over the Haunted Mansion. That's always been my dream to go on that version of the ride. In fact, I heard that they were going to do the same thing for the Disney World version, but they rejected the idea and all the props were moved to Tokyo Disneyland's version of the Haunted Mansion, which is pretty much a carbon copy of the Florida version. With how popular the ride has become, as well as the characters and lore surrounding it, there's not much to talk about on this show, aside from the early ideas they had for it, as well as a comic series made by Slave Labor Graphics. But that's gonna take me a while, because the comics are really hard to find. So instead, we're going to be looking at the Disney Haunted Mansion video game, made by High Voltage Software. The Haunted Mansion video game is an action-adventure survival horror game that was first released on October 14, 2003 for the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. There was also going to be a Game Boy Advance version of the game, but it was never released. The story takes place after the Civil War and focuses on a young man named Zeke Holloway, a man who dreams of becoming a writer, but right now he's just looking for work. He comes across an old mansion to apply for a job as assistant caretaker, only to find out that the mansion is haunted by ghosts. Zeke soon faints, and after he recovers, he's greeted by Madame Leota, who has a southern accent for some reason.
I, child, am Madame Leota, speaker of the spirit world, medium of the mysterious, and seer of things unseen.
Anyway, Leota tells Zeke that they need his help in defeating Atticus Thorn, an evil sorcerer who has taken over the mansion and has created evil spirits from the souls he's collected. Now armed with the Beacon of Souls, Zeke and Leota must travel through the mansion, rescue the 999 happy haunts, and defeat Atticus Thorn once and for all. Although this film was mostly made just to advertise the Haunted Mansion movie, it's surprising that the game itself has little to no relationship with the movie itself. Now personally, I've never seen the Haunted Mansion film. I've heard that it's bad, and the most common criticism for the film was the miscasting of Eddie Murphy and some of the other main characters. Speaking of that film, some copies of this game actually came with a special ticket that was advertised as a free movie pass to see the film. It's worthless now, but I'm surprised my copy of the game still has this thing intact. The main goal of this game is to go through every room in the mansion and turn on the lights. Once they're on, you can collect the souls hiding in certain objects with the Beacon of Souls, as they are needed to explore more areas of the mansion. Most of the time you'll be solving puzzles to reach the light switch while fighting off enemies who want you dead. One will have you guide a pool ball to knock the other balls into their holes, one involves you in a maid's room where the walls keep moving, and one will involve you collecting floating candles in order to light up the room. Along the way, you'll be collecting a few items like special tonic to recover your health, voodoo dolls to increase your health, tarot cards where you can get an extra life when you've collected enough of them, and death certificates. Yeah, they made that a thing in the game. Some of the ghosts in the mansion have forgotten how they died, and you'll need a death certificate to help them remember. After that, the ghost will reward you with a soul gem, which is used to upgrade the Beacon of Souls' power, as well as collecting a lot of souls to access more rooms. And that's the basic gist of it. Not much of a detailed story behind the ghosts or the mansion itself. You just go around turning on the lights and then collecting the ghosts with the Beacon of Souls. It's very similar to Luigi's Mansion, where you have to go around collecting those boos. But unlike in that game, where the boos can be pretty annoying to collect, the Haunted Mansion game isn't that bad. There are some journals throughout the mansion that provide some backstory to Atticus Thorn and his plans for the living and the dead, but those are just optional to read through. After collecting the souls in the room, then you'll be able to interact with ghosts who live in the mansion, like the hitchhiking ghost, the mummy. There's even a bride ghost who goes on about waiting for her groom, which was probably a nice little nod to Phantom Manor, Disneyland Paris's version of the Haunted Mansion. The ghosts themselves don't really do much, and they're just there if you want to listen to some quirky dialogue.
But my wish is that next year you don't make me wish for something before we get to eat the cake.
The princess is in another castle. or so I've been told.
I know what you're thinking, sweetheart. What's a nice place like me doing with a girl like this?
May I join you? No. But we could be such good friends.
Some of the levels in this game are made up, but there are some that are loosely based off of the ride, like the attic and the ballroom, as well as some areas that are based off of the movie, like the foyer and the mausoleum. Although I still find it odd that the ghosts from the ride appear in the game only after you turn on the lights in the rooms. And here I thought spirits were frightfully sensitive to bright lights. The puzzles in this game are fun and unique in their own way. In the ballroom, you're being pushed by the organ's strong wind, and the only way to get to the light switch is by having the giant spider enemies cling onto you with their web, and then you slowly make your way up there after getting the pattern down. There's also a nice little Easter egg where you can see doom buggies pass by after you retrieve the soul gem from the organist. In the museum, you have to get past a bunch of knight statues on a checkerboard to reach the light switch, and for some reason it always reminded me of the wizard chess segment from the Harry Potter game. Another puzzle I found amusing is the sitting room, where you find the light switch, but then it starts moving around, and then you end up chasing the thing around, and then it reaches its proper destination. Then you're able to turn on the lights. Some of them can be challenging, like in the gallery where you have to change the portraits from looking creepy to good, by jumping in and out of portraits to jumping off ledges to get those hard to reach places. My only criticism is the lock-on feature when fighting enemies. It can be a bit finicky at times, like I get caught in a spider web and I see an enemy coming after me and I try to lock onto it, but it keeps locking onto the spider and I don't have too much time to take him down. Yeah, that can be annoying at times. But other than that, Disney's Haunted Mansion video game is a lot of fun. The gameplay is fun, whether it be solving puzzles or fighting off enemies. The atmosphere and style is pretty cool, the music is decent, and its story, though basic and minimal, is still interesting. I would even go as far to say that this is an underrated game. One last thing I forgot to mention is that you can get cheat codes in the game, and you can get all 3 of them by beating the game on the highest difficulty. Other than that, there's also secret codes where you can change Zeke's appearance in the game. One of them makes Zeke look like a skeleton, and another one makes him look like the Invisible Man. It's kinda neat. The price for this game has varied from time to time. Sometimes it's cheap and other times it's more expensive. I found my copy at a plain trade store for only $5, and for what it is, I thought it was a pretty good deal. So if you ever see this game floating around on eBay or in a used game store like I did, then I'd say it's worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of the Haunted Mansion ride. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media, so this is Melting Man 234 signing out, and wishing everyone a happy and safe Halloween.
When the crypt doors creak and the tombstones quake,
Spooks come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. When grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
now don't close your eyes and don't try to hide.
For a silly spook will sit by your side, shrouded in a daft disguise.